I saw Santoro posted earlier on Facebook. He was wondering why, with all the talent you guys have in the minors, why I think his name's Andy Sonnanstine is still pitching.
It's
don't say that name.
No, it's a good question because it's something
name.
Griff and I talked about last week, and it
makes me angry. It really does.
I agree that the Rays have arms in the minors, but what do we know about the Rays? They baby their young pitchers.
They baby their players.
It's true.
So
actually, no, because they threw Evan.
Yeah.
They threw Evan out there. They just threw him out
no,
there.
I forgot about that.
Players they'll throw out there, but when it comes to their pitchers, they baby them. Mm-hmm. Like Howell, actually, they were saying he probably could have came back in time for the beginning of the year, but the Rays didn't want him to.
They babied the shit out of Matt Joyce, and I was been saying this since 09.
I don't think they were babying him. I think Madden is just so in love with his Saber Matrix that he was only playing Joyce against righties.
Yeah, what is that?
It's Reaganomics.
Saber Matrix.
Like, I don't know.
It's something a lot of teams do. It's just the Rays get called out for it more than anyone else.
But what is it?
It's basically just matchups. You basically go with an optimal lineup every night.
It's like fantasy football?
Just based on matchups.
Well,
based on matchups and numbers and pretty much like who does best versus right-handed pitching and left-handed pitching.
Well, it's like last night, I think.
Yeah.
Upton plays every night, but Upton was going into the game last night. I think he was 4 for 7 against Verlander. Matt Joyce was like 6 of 10 on Verlander.
Pulling in seats.
Yeah, if the matchups are favoring them, Madden's going to put him in.
Matt Joyce is still my uncle, though.
Right. But with the whole Sonnanstine thing, it's just the Rays baby their pitchers. They don't like the mechanics of one of the guys they have down there. And if we saw anything from Strasburg last year, if your mechanics are off, you're going to kill yourself.
Yeah.
Or your arm. So I agree that Sonnanstine shouldn't be pitching.
No.
But right now it's kind of like I don't know what else to do because we know they're not going to call someone up. And if they do, it's only going to be for one start and they're going back down. So that is
Didn't that happen with Hellickson last year? He pitched that really good game, and then they sent him back down.
It happened with Alex Cobb this year.
Alex Cobb.
He came in, pitched one start. I think he won, and then
he went like 7 innings.
Him down that night. Yeah.
I don't care. I say throw him in the wolves. Baptism by fire.
Yeah. I think it works a lot easier in Major League Baseball than it would in the NFL and other sports.
And then you have a Strasburg on your hand.
Well, make sure their mechanics are right then.
His arm's made of silly putty, though.
They have a degree measurement for where your elbow is supposed to be, and his was way above it.
He had bad mechanics, and he messed up his arm for it. I think that's more coaching than anything. They should be watching the film on him and be like, hey, why don't we correct things?
I completely understand, but I'm just saying that is why the Rays do what they do. And nothing is going to change it. They interviewed Jim Hickey on the radio the other day. And, he would Shields pitched 126, and Shields is a vet. He's like, you'll never see Shields pitch that many pitches ever again.
I think it's
as long as he's on the Rays.
126, my God.
That was in a complete game,
That's a
right?
complete game,
It's probably because the last time he almost had a complete game, he got pulled. And I think he made a death threat against Matt. If you pull me again, I will stab you in your sleep.
Brian Anderson made a good point the other day, how the TV commentator for the Rays, he used to pitch for the Indians. And, players used to pitch 110, 120 pitches.
Oh, yeah.
No problem.
Now, the second you get to 100, you're pulled. And it's not just the Rays. It looks like a lot of teams do that.
Marlins players get pulled a lot.
So he was saying, he's like, not that they mean to do it, but do you think these pitchers in the majors, when they know that they're near 100, that they kind of just get this I don't give a crap attitude? Like, they know regardless that they're going to be pulled?
I don't know. It's hard to tell because sometimes guys that know they're going to get pulled try harder. I feel like towards the end as they inch closer to that 100 mark, I feel like they try harder, and then it's either going to go one way. It's either going to go great or they're going to give up runs like crazy.
And it's one of those things where it might just depend on the pitcher itself.
Yeah. You know what boggles my mind, though?
Gravity.
How
does it work?
No. Back in the day in, 50s, 60s, whatever, they were pretty much every time they start, that'd be a complete game.
Well, yeah, they were pitching every 3 days.
Yeah.
Not only that, but now athletes are bigger, stronger,
faster. Thank you, Kanye.
Why is it that they're not?
You know why? Because they're not all wasted like they were back in the day.
Exactly.
Every baseball player back in the day was wasted on some sort of drug.
How many stories came out about Babe Ruth or other players being drunk during games and playing? You know what I mean?
Baseball would be so much better.
At least you get more fights.
If you had half of them on roids, half drunk.
You get the umpires drunk, maybe the calls would be better.
Just make things interesting. Allow power bombs for shitty calls.